do the bass line for Pennyroyal in this lesson. So this one, every string on our bass is going to be tuned down 1/2 step. So concert pitch of A flat minor, but I'm going to be calling everything out like I usually do in terms of standard tuning pitches. So that would be an A. So just so we're all on the same page. Alright, so let's go back to the beginning and check out what he plays before the band kicks in and plays the chorus, which is what I just played for you. Alright, so that's what Chris plays as the intro to this song. Basically kind of like little stuff out of the A Dorian mode, but playing with the root notes of the chords. So when he starts off, he comes in where the G chord comes in, so he's just playing a G note on your 5th fret of the 2nd string. Holds that for a whole note. The next measure we have this. So that we have a rhythm of 1, 2, and 4 and. So we're playing our G note again, and then this little lick that is at the end of the measure is 4, 5, 2. And then we're playing our open A bass note for a whole note. Then we're going to rest for a full measure. And then we have the last 2 measures, which are this. So we're basically just building up on our G notes here. So the high octave to start with, we have 1, 2, and 4 and is the rhythm there. We're going to rest on 1 of the next measure, and then we have and 2 and 3 and slide. So the slide comes on beat 4 there. So just playing our G note on the low string at the 3rd fret. Okay, so now we're into the chorus riff. You have these 4-bar phrases that there are 4 different variations. So let's check out the first variation. I'll play it for you. Alright, so let's go through measure by measure what we're doing. So we're starting with the C note at the 3rd fret of your 3rd string. And then we're going to do like this kind of classic chromatic, most people call it a chromatic enclosure around the C note, and then we're going to walk that up to a D. So anyway, what we're doing, so we're doing C, 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 and then we're doing C, B, C, C sharp is the chromatic thing at the end there. And then basically what he does over the D measure is something like this. So there you're doing 1 and 2 and 3 and slide, and then this slide comes back on the end of 4. Or you might have a rhythmic variation that's like, or maybe something like, some sort of variation like that. Or sometimes you might notice that he's only sliding up to like the 8th or 9th frets. So like a shorter slide, which is kind of more rare, and he does that a little bit more sparingly. So you're going to have something like that in the second measure. Alright, measure 3 of this variation, we're just going to play 8th notes on a B flat note. Alright, so that's it. And then the last measure, we're going to have some sort of like B to A kind of riff. The first time here he plays this. So slowly. So just going back and forth between your B flat and A notes. Okay, now let's check out the next 4 bars for the second variation. Alright, so the first bar is exactly the same. The second bar is, he's doing the same as what I explained before. The next measure, he's doing a rhythmic variation, so instead of just 8th notes, he's doing this. So throwing in some 16th notes. And the last bar, I'll do it slowly, is this. Alright, let's check out the third variation. It sounds like this. Probably the coolest one, I think. The first measure is the same. The second measure is different. We're going to play all eighth notes on a D note, except for the last one's going to be an E. So that's that measure. The next two measures, what he does is an arpeggiation of a B flat 5 power chord. So from the lowest string, that's 6, 8, 8. And here's the pattern. I'll do this slowly. And again. All right, now let's check out the last variation, the last 4 bars of the chorus. So that is the last one. First measure is the same. The second measure is the same as the variation I just explained to you. So the last 2 measures are the difference, and what you're doing is playing a high B flat at your 8th fret on the 2nd string. So, and doing a slide on the last quarter note of the last measure. All right. So now we are into our first kind of verse bass riff, so we'll look at that. All right, so there's the verse there. I'll go basically chord by chord, so 2 measures at a time. So here's what we play for the first 2 measures. And actually, I'll just do 1 measure at a time. So we have this 1, 2, and 4 and rhythm for the first bar here, and all of that is an A note, except for the last note is a G. The next note, next measure, we're doing this. So kind of using notes from your A minor pentatonic scale. So A, G, A, C, C, A. All right, then the next measure is where we go to the G chord, and we're just going to do 1, 2, and 4 and on the root note. And so he's doing this with alternate picking during the verse for more fluid sound too, I should say. And the last measure is this. So pretty chromatic, and I'll walk up there at the end to go back to the A. So this note for note would be G, F sharp, G, and then F sharp, G, G sharp. All right, then we're going back to the beginning. So that measure is the same. The next measure he does a little fill, which is so that's G, A, G, A, and then the little fill is you're sliding from 6, 7 to 6 on your 4 string, and then coming back to your A note, and then we're going to a G for the full measure, and the last measure is this. So that is G, F sharp, G, G, and then we have G, F sharp, G, A. All right, so then we are to a chorus, and I've already explained what he does for the chorus, so then let's check out what comes after that. So after the chorus, we're going to do a verse, which I've already explained to you, the style of that verse, and then another chorus, and then we're into this kind of stripped down verse, which is kind of like a re-intro, I'd say, kind of where, like where Kurt Cobain's mainly just playing guitar and singing. There is a little bit of bass over that though, so let's check out how that goes. Alright, so that's it. Pretty similar to what we did before, just some little subtle variations. So holding a G note for a full measure. The next measure we have this. So that's 5, 5, 4, 5, 2, and then you're coming down to your open A note. And then the similar build up that we had on the high G and low G, and then we're back to another chorus. Alright, so let's talk about how this song ends. it's a kind of very 60s kind of groove to it. So all we're doing is we're playing A and G sharp notes. So the rhythm is 1 and 4 and. So we're resting on beat 2, and there's a tie that holds us on to beat 3. So it's. And then we just end with the final A note. Alright, so that takes care of Pennyroyal. If you'd like the tabs, just shoot me an email. It's in the description. And lots more Nirvana-based lessons to go. Maybe 30, 35 for the albums, and then I'll probably start hitting some of the more rare songs. So stick around, please, and please subscribe. Alright, thanks, guys.